The restaurant was one of those places where everything whispered luxury, the golden glow of chandeliers, the faint scent of roses, and the low murmur of expensive conversations. Alexander Reed sat at a corner table, his posture perfect, his expression unreadable. The staff knew him well. He was the kind of man who commanded a room without trying. But tonight, he wasn't here for a business meeting. He was here because his sister, Emily, had signed him up for a blind date. Just one evening, she had pleaded. "You've been alone too long, Alex. Lily needs to see her dad happy." And so, for the sake of his daughter, he'd agreed. He checked his watch again. 7:30. His date was late. Typical, he thought, already rehearsing polite excuses to leave early. But just as he reached for his phone, the door opened, and a woman walked in who didn't fit this world. Clara Hayes. Her dress was plain, a little wrinkled at the hem, and her hair fell loosely over her shoulders, unstyled but somehow graceful. She wasn't the type who tried to impress. No diamonds, no perfume, just quiet confidence wrapped in exhaustion. She spotted him instantly, walked over, and sat down without a smile. "I was forced to come," she said, her tone cool, her arms crossing over her chest. Alexander blinked, momentarily thrown off. "Good evening to you too," he replied dryly. She sighed, avoiding his gaze. "Sorry, that came out wrong. My roommate thinks I've been working too much, so she signed me up for this. I didn't even know until 2 hours ago." A small smirk tugged at his lips. So, we're both victims of other people's good intentions. That made her glance up, just for a second. Her eyes were sharp but tired, like someone who had seen too much too young. "You didn't want to be here either." "I'm a single dad," he said simply. "My sister thinks that automatically means I need saving." That earned the faintest smile from Clara. "Do you?" "Maybe. But I haven't met the right savior yet." She let out a soft laugh before catching herself, and for a fleeting moment, the tension between them cracked. But just as quickly, she straightened again, retreating behind her calm mask. The waiter came, and she ordered water and a simple salad. Alexander noticed she didn't even open the menu. "You've been here before?" he asked. "No," she said, "but I don't want to owe anyone too much." He raised an eyebrow. "It's dinner, not a debt." Clara gave a faint shrug. "You'd be surprised how often people think otherwise." Her words carried a weight he couldn't ignore. There was something behind them, a story, a scar she didn't want to share. Throughout dinner, conversation moved slowly, like cautious footsteps in a dark room. Alexander asked questions, Clara deflected most of them. But the bits she did reveal painted a picture he couldn't stop thinking about. A woman working 2 jobs, taking night shifts, paying her younger brother's tuition, surviving instead of living. At one point, the waiter brought dessert menus. Clara shook her head. "No, thank you. I should get going." "So soon?" She hesitated, then said softly, "You seem kind, Mr. Reed, but I'm not what you're looking for. I can't afford distractions." "Who said I was looking for one?" he asked. Her eyes softened, and for the first time that night, she really looked at him. "You have the look of someone who lost something he's still trying to find." He didn't answer. He couldn't. She stood up, adjusting her coat. "Thank you for dinner. And, sorry for being so cold." "Don't be," he said quietly. "At least you were honest." As she walked toward the door, Alexander found himself watching her every step. There was grace in her strength, even in her weariness. And just before she left, she paused, hand on the doorframe, as if gathering herself. Then she disappeared into the city's neon glow. A week had passed since the awkward blind date, but Alexander Reed couldn't stop thinking about her, Clara Hayes. Her voice, her honesty, that sharp edge in her eyes that hinted at old pain and quiet strength. Most people he met in his world, business partners, socialites, even the women he dated, wore masks. But Clara had been real, raw, and unfiltered. And that, somehow, made her unforgettable. It was a Saturday afternoon when he decided to take his daughter, Lily, to the park near their neighborhood. Work had been relentless all week, and this was their sacred time together. Lily was 6, bright-eyed, talkative, and filled with endless curiosity that made Alexander laugh despite himself. As soon as they arrived, Lily darted toward the swings. Alexander sat on a bench, phone in hand, pretending to work but secretly watching her play. For the first time in a long while, he felt peaceful. Then, his heart skipped. Across the playground, a familiar figure sat on another bench, book in hand, sunlight catching in her hair. Clara. She wore jeans, a soft sweater, and sneakers that had seen better days. But there was a lightness about her now, a calmness he hadn't seen at the restaurant. Beside her, a young boy, maybe 10 or 11, kicked a worn soccer ball in the grass, laughing freely. Alexander's lips curved in surprise. Her brother, he realized. And as fate would have it, Lily's errant swing of her toy ball sent it rolling straight toward the boy. The boy picked it up with a grin. "Hey, is this yours?" Lily nodded, beaming. "You're fast. Wanna play?" In minutes, the two children were running around together, laughing as if they'd known each other all their lives. Clara looked up, startled, then froze when she saw him walking toward her. "Small world," Alexander said with a gentle smile, hands in his pockets. She blinked, clearly caught off guard. "You again." "Guilty," he said. "Didn't think I'd see you outside of an interrogation room." Clara's lips twitched with amusement. "I was a little harsh that night, wasn't I?" He chuckled softly. "You were honest. I like that." She looked down, brushing hair behind her ear. "I'm not usually like that. It's just, life's been heavy lately." He sat beside her, leaving enough space to respect her distance. "And your brother?" He nodded toward the boy, who was now racing Lily toward the slide. "Evan," she said with a small smile. "He's my world. I'm doing everything I can to make sure he has a future. He deserves better than what I had." Alexander nodded slowly. "I know that feeling." Clara turned to him, curious. He hesitated, then said quietly, "My daughter's all I have. Her mom, my wife, passed away 5 years ago. I've been learning how to be both parents ever since." Clara's eyes softened. "I'm sorry. That must have been hard." "It was," he admitted. "Still is. But she's my reason for everything. I guess that's something we share." They sat in silence for a moment, watching their children play under the fading sunlight. Then, Lily ran over and tugged Alexander's sleeve. "Daddy, can we come here again? Evan says his sister makes the best pancakes in the world." Clara laughed. "Evan exaggerates." Alexander grinned. "I don't know. Lily has a very serious pancake evaluation system. Maybe we should test that theory sometime." Clara raised an eyebrow, pretending to think. I suppose I could be persuaded." Her tone was playful now, light and teasing. The guarded woman from the restaurant was nowhere to be seen. As the evening cooled, they all walked back toward the street together. Evan and Lily skipped ahead, sharing jokes, while Clara and Alexander walked slowly behind them. "I didn't expect to see you again," she said softly. "Neither did I," he replied. "But I'm glad I did." Clara looked at him then. Really looked, and for the first time, her eyes didn't hide. "Maybe we could do this again sometime. Without the pressure of a blind date." Alexander smiled, his voice warm. "You mean, voluntarily?" She laughed. "Yes, voluntarily." They exchanged numbers, and when she turned to leave, Alexander found himself watching her again, just like that first night, but this time, there was hope instead of emptiness. As Lily tugged his hand and looked up at him with a mischievous grin, she said, "Daddy, you're smiling." He chuckled softly. "Am I?" "Uh-huh," Lily said proudly. "You never smile like that unless you like someone." Alexander laughed under his breath. "Maybe I do." And as the streetlights flickered on, he glanced back one last time at Clara and Evan walking away, two silhouettes against the golden glow of dusk. For the first time in years, the future didn't feel lonely. It felt like the beginning of something beautiful. Alexander sat there long after she was gone, his untouched dessert melting slowly on the table. He didn't believe in fate. But for some reason, he couldn't shake the feeling that tonight, he'd just met the person who might change everything he thought he knew about love.